Oceanhorn, monster of the Uncharted Seas! Let's get this out of the way. Yes, this is a Zelda clone. I know the people who make this game might say, no, it's inspired by Zelda. But it feels more like a fan project than an inspirational version of a game. Because they straight up rip off gameplay and iconic things from Zelda throughout this game. Worse yet, they don't really seem to get why people love playing The Legend of Zelda, as they seem to have made a pretty average game. Now, originally this was a mobile game, and I did play it a little bit on my iPad, and it was okay to play. I don't think this type of game works well with touch controls. That's why I waited until it came out on the Switch, where I could use my Pro Controller. And you know what? I was right to wait. So the story starts out with your dad going off to fight Oceanhorn. So after that, the game starts you out living on an island on top of a cliff with nothing but a tent. While this asshole who's taking care of you lives in a house. Seriously, this island has two people living on it, you and a hermit character. But the guy makes you live at the very top of a cliff, and later in the game makes you jump down a well to retrieve a package he lost. Why is he throwing stuff down a well? Then when I get down there isn't any water in this well. The only well on this island, and there's no water. How are these people surviving? It turns out at the bottom of this very fake well, it's a crypt. Because that seems like a reasonable place to bury someone, at the bottom of a well. Okay, old man, please explain to me how you lost your package behind quite a few puzzles and a chest. You know what, old man? I don't think you had a friend. He just wanted the kid who he was barely tolerating to go tomb raiding and steal some item for him. You know what? Next time this guy asks me for anything, I think my response is going to be, you. Get it your own self. Anyway, you eventually get away from this old jerk and you can sail to different islands to find the medallions to finally take down Oceanhorn. So you have to sail across the seas. And it's all done automatically. It's as boring as it sounds. You can fire at enemies in the crates to get experience and coins, but it does feel like they just put it in there because the creators knew it was a very dull part of this game and they kind of needed to keep your attention. Sailing is so slow too. You can get speed upgrades later in the game as you level up your character. That was nice, but it should have never been an incentive. Now, getting islands to choose from is also very stupid. You can't go to an island until you know it exists, because apparently islands won't be there unless you acknowledge their existence. And that is nuts. You get letters in bottles or people making passing references to these mystery islands, then it mysteriously becomes available to go to. Like the island is listening like, oh, he knows my name. He may see me now. It's not like these islands are that far apart. You would think you would just see these mystery islands. It's just such a weird way of setting up the gameplay. This type of game would have done so much better with freedom to explore. They do lock off some of the areas of these islands, so why not keep that up? Let us be able to sail the boat on our own, or put up boundaries that we need to break. The world is pretty much broken down into sea, land, caves. The dungeons that you explore will take you in and out of the caves, and they were all kind of basic. It's like someone watched how Zelda made their puzzles and just copied them. There were no new ideas here. The puzzles that you had to solve were very easy and not clever at all. I know I must sound really down on this game, and I really don't mean to sound that way. It's just the game is average in every way. It's not boring to play, yet it will never compel you to play it. It's right in the middle of the road so much, it's frustrating. Now, the bosses were interesting, and they were a little bit difficult, especially if you die. If you die, it'll restart right outside the boss fight, which was nice. But all your equipment like bombs and arrows will be at the same level as when you died. You would think they would reset with you, but no. It makes things even harder as you need to recollect them as you're fighting the boss again. Graphically, it takes its cues from The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, or more accurately, Phantom Hourglass, which is actually a good thing. I kind of like the graphical style. Overall, the controls were alright. I did have some issues with some of the controls. I had some major issues lining up the bow and arrow, as I never knew where it was going to hit, and it was kind of just a guessing game. Why not give me a reticle showing me where my bow was aiming? Plus, the fishing game could have used some prompts. You're supposed to weaken the fish, but it doesn't tell you how to do that. I just keep moving side to side until I catch it. Oceanhorn was acceptable. It was a game that didn't swing for the fences and it was completely average. That is the most frustrating part about this. At every turn, they seem to take the path of least resistance. I've never seen a game try so hard to be okay. This one is hard to decide on. On one hand, it was a kind of fun little game. On the other, you're really not missing anything if you don't play it. There's nothing you haven't seen before, as everything you've seen has already been done so much better in another game. It's currently $14.99, and I'm going to say you should wait till this goes on sale. And I'm talking about half price here. $7.99. This is an older mobile game port. And by the way, this is $7.99 on the iOS platform right now. And I feel they overpriced it to get to the people who are craving a top-down Zelda game on the Switch, and that's not cool. So wait for this to come down to a reasonable price.